Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the final word. Everton 1, West Ham United 3, Goodison Park at the weekend. Another home game without a win for Everton. Another game without a win for Everton. And per day, thoroughly disappointing home game, which ended with a defeat.
Yeah, another one. A lot of expectation on the game. A lot of good feeling going into the game as well, I felt. People felt genuinely happy after getting some points back, and I think, with Beto starting, there's a good mood around the place, and sadly 5 o'clock that mood was completely flipped on its head, and the rain fell, and it was just a very, very horrible afternoon in the end. And yeah, Everton have done it again to us and to themselves.
Snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. The manager made a change up front.
Yeah.
Beto came in for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Onana come in for Sagana Gay, who was injured. We thought Onana would play, he did. But I was a little bit... I was like you, I was confident we'd win this. I thought we'd win this because obviously we had the points back at the start of the week. West Ham, although they had a good win against Brentford, I still felt like they're not firing, and the game proved that really. Not as if they're like pairing at the moment. They were there to be got at. I thought the way we started the game, both teams just did kind of like feel each other out there. There was no intensity there, I didn't think, and that's what I keep crying out for at Goodison Park, to come out the blocks fast. I thought, to be honest, I thought the first 3 or 4 minutes we started trying to get on the front foot, but then it did sort of just dissipate. We hadn't had an attempt at goal or anything like that. And I don't know whether we just got zero confidence or the zero build-up play, like patterns.
Yeah.
Or if it's just a mix of it all. But something's not quite right at Goodison when we play. We look like we know what we're doing when we're away from home. But it feels very different at Goodison. Yeah,
I don't know whether it's the pressure to win the games. I don't know whether there's the pressure to be on the ball. I thought, seeing in the first half, we tried to get on the ball a lot more, but it wasn't great to watch. But I was glad to see that we were starting to try and play the ball around a little bit rather than just going long all the time, or just getting bored of playing that and then going long. It wasn't really working as such. A lot of loose passes, a lot of silly turnovers to West Ham. But I just thought that because we have to play so many games at home, that we're going to have the majority of possession, and it's going to be on us to take into the opposition. I'm glad that we tried something a little bit different, because it can start negative, it can start with the rawness, but if you keep doing it, it can evolve into something better where it's going long. You can do that all day. You don't need to practice that. You've got like a strike with, if Dom starts, you can do that all day. So it wasn't great. We created a couple of moments, that we should have done better, and certainly the Beto opportunity, I think it was Dwight McNeil played them in. That was a nice little move, just a couple of good touches and getting into Beto, but sadly he couldn't. He didn't have the composure to put it in. But there was a couple of little moments that give you a little bit of hope, and certainly West Ham weren't doing too much, so it was quite even, and you just thought, well, we're going about the things the right way. Maybe we're not doing them right, but we're going about them the right way. So the positivity was still was there for the majority of the first half, if not all of it.
Yeah, I watch us, and I don't know what we're trying to do though.
I don't know.
I've
sort of give up on that though.
Yeah, I know, but it's the thing with when we're trying to play it out from the back, we don't go anywhere. So it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't actually. It's not like we're trying to draw them in to smash it and get in behind, because we don't do that. Pickford plays some dreadful balls to players, like slow passes on the floor, and puts us in danger. A couple of the other, like Dwight McNeil just decided to kick one out for a corner under no pressure in the first half. And it's like, you're knocking it out, playing triangles, they press you, it goes back to Jordan, he just kicks it up in the air anyway. It's like, what are you trying to do? And that frustrates me because there's no thought process behind it. Our best thing is Tarkowski's switch, because that does work. We pull teams over and he's capable of switching it. But the move that you were talking about there was a good one, because McNeil come into a pocket of space in the centre of the park, Tarkowski gave him it, and he got his head up and found Beto. Just didn't happen enough that. There's no dynamism in the team. So West Ham, when they were breaking in the first half, were getting people running on the outside, and okay, it didn't come off for them, and we did defend that quite well. Just think there's got to be a little bit more refinedness the way we're playing. It's good that it isn't just smashed up, but I still thought we could have got Beto in down the channels a little bit more than what we did in the first half. And I thought the first half played out two poor sides, really. That's how it looked. They'd had a shot which Pickford saved comfortably, which he pushed out. We had a Beto shot, he flashed wide. He had the other one where the one he should have scored. And then we got a penalty, and I mean, again, I'm still scratching my head as to why Craig Pawson needed to go to a screen. The most blatant penalty you'll ever see in your life. The linesman's looking right at it. Zuma puts his hand out and controls it. It shouldn't need VAR to tell the ref to go to the screen. The referee should have just awarded the penalty. But it went to VAR. He had a look at it. Everyone knew it was a penalty. It then got shown on the screen, which made him look like an even bigger tit. But he gave the penalty. We haven't waited 31 games, I think it is, the longest wait in Europe. Beto stepped up and missed the penalty. You know, I said it the other day, Variola dives the other way, you go, oh, that was a good pen, that. But it isn't a good penalty when the goalkeeper goes the same way, because he can see what your body shape is, and he should have lifted it or smashed it or whatever. But it was a poor miss, and at a time when we needed to take that opportunity, we blew it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was blatant on ball. It's like Keane's, wasn't it, in the derby? Yeah. I don't know why it needed VAR, but we got to the right decision in the end.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, listen, Beto wanted to take it, fair play. You want your centre forwards on it. I just felt like the narrative was always going to be, the pressure on the striker was always going to be too much in a way. And maybe it would have been better if it had been someone like a Dwight McNeil or a James Garner, or even Toffee, after watching his penalty in the penalty shootout against Fulham.
Seemed like no one wanted it though, Ben. And maybe that decision would have been made anyway before.
Yeah, I mean that's it, isn't it? Those decisions are made. Just whatever. I'm not blaming him for picking up the ball at all, but it wasn't a great penalty.
No,
it was slow. It was at the best height for a goalkeeper, and the run-up didn't really give too many, didn't have any surprises in it. So the goalie picked the right way, and he's made quite a comfortable save. There was an element just for a moment where it looked like maybe he was being punished for diving early. In fact,
we got the ball back, and he gave it back to Beto. Yeah,
Beto picked the ball up and went to the spot. It was like, what's going on? And then, I don't know.
Well, I think they checked it because the referee was making them wait, and he must have been. Maybe it was very close to him coming off his line, because if it wasn't, he wouldn't have done that check, but he did. Everton thought he did have the ball back again for a second. Would you have let him take it again? Because he did have it in his hand, didn't he?
Suppose. He took the first one, he would have maybe learned from it, but you'd expect, centre forward to score, but he didn't. I'm not going to sit here and have too much of a go for him. It's happened to better strikers.
I was hoping for a bit of blood and thunder at the start of the second half, but it didn't happen. It come out the same kind of way. But eventually we did get in front, and we got in front with a hell of a cross from James Garner. It was a brilliant ball. Great delivery into the box. And a great header by Beto.
Was it a great header, or did it hit him on the shoulder?
No, it was a header. Just watched it again. It was a great header. Great header. Right into the corner. 1-0. Ground bouncing. And we were in the ascendancy. They hadn't done much.
No.
Up until that point, and we're winning 1-0 and thinking, right, this is a great chance now to get this victory, what we're all craving. we just couldn't. I think we got caught once we scored between that thing of like, what do we do? But we did, because we dropped back and they come onto us, but then we broke twice, if you remember, before they equalised, where we were steaming at them, and the biggest opportunity come from Dwight McNeil. It was a ball with Jack Harrison. When it come through, I thought he should have hit it first time, but he delays, but still manages, he throws it back. And I've just looked at the XG, the chance, and it's 0.5, middle of the goal. Dwight McNeil, just put your foot through it, it's 2-0. The goalkeeper turns his back on it almost, and he just side-foots it straight into Ariola's arms. And I did have the feeling at that moment of very much a Romelu Lukaku penalty all those years ago against West Ham when it was 2-0, and that would have gone 3-0 game. That I hope that doesn't come back to bite us in the arse. But first of all, what did you make of Beto's goal and the cross? And secondly, that for me was the moment that we could have killed the game off and we didn't.
Yeah, I mean, Beto's goal was good. It was a very straightforward goal. What we should be creating 5-6 times in a game. A good little run from in to out from Garner. Yeah. Puts a fantastic ball in, and your centre forward meets it and puts it in the corner. And it's bread and butter. That's bread and butter. You know, Beto is raw. He's absolutely raw. He makes easy things look difficult at times. But I do think he knows where to run. I think it's not a case of when he's on the ball. It's more when he's off the ball. He can make good forward runs. It's whether you find them. Listen, opinion is definitely split on him as a striker. I think he's got lots and lots of edges to take off before you look. I don't think his hold-up play is particularly good, and I think he's missed probably vital years of development by being such a late starter, which happens. It's not his fault that how he's come through the game. But he got a goal, and it was a good goal, and that's what you can ask your centre forward. And he enjoys playing for Everton. I think fans love the endeavour of him. And maybe sometimes when you do have a Dom, it's a little bit almost too safe in the way we play. I mean, what's baffling though? What's baffling is that we changed the style and then we changed the centre forward. Why didn't we change the style with Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Why are we saying that Dominic Calvert-Lewin can't?
Because I don't think he can do the job better.
Oh, I think he can. I think Dom's a much better striker. I think he can run into those areas. I just find it fascinating that the manager uses him as a blunt weapon, rather than saying you're fast, you can run into dangerous areas. That's what your game was. Again, I think it's an idea of a player who's had his game changed by managers rather than through any fault of his own. Whether Beto makes better runs or not, I still think Dom can easily play that way. I think he's got pace, and I think he knows where to run. But Beto seized the opportunity and scored the goal, and it's a good one. So I mean, the chance for Dwight McNeil's just.
It's a shitter. It's an absolute shitter.
He hits it at the goalkeeper.
Yeah. You got the whole, just put your foot through it.
No composure.
Put your foot through it, it's 2-0 and he doesn't. He side
or even sweep it into a corner. Sweep it into a corner.
Middle of the goal with the goalie with his back to you, it's an open goal and he misses it. And it's a key moment in the game. And then a couple of minutes later, they get a corner. It's whipped in. Kurt Zouma heads it and it's the underside of the bar and goes in. And there's two things for me on this. I'd like to see my goalie come out and clatter Zouma. Really come and go through the ball like a lot of keepers do. But if that's not going to be a tactic, Jordan, and he doesn't tend to come off his line,
it's not,
and that's why we concede so many goals inside the 6-yard box, because the keeper's rooted. So if that's the case, then your best header of the ball has to be on their best header of the ball. And yet Tarkowski, 2 weeks running, has been nowhere near the lad who's knocked the goal.
Well, that's zonal though, isn't it? That's the way we play.
It's poor. If that's what we do, we concede so many goals from set pieces. So I don't understand. You've got the... I don't... Listen, they look at all the tapes and all the things, so fine. But for me, just as a fan, just watching it, knowing Kurt Zouma's by far their most dangerous player in the air, we put Ben Godfrey on him who can't get off the floor properly, as we saw last week with Duncan this week. And the ball's a good ball in and Zouma meets and it's 1-1 and you're thinking...
I suppose the argument to that is, though, if Souček had headed it in, he would be looked at their best header of the ball, wouldn't he? That's the
leap though with
no,
Zuma,
I get what you're saying. I just mean that if Souček heads that in, then
well, Branthwaite should have Souček, shouldn't he? Surely, 6'5".
Branthwaite's not our header though.
No, but it's just physical.
No, I know, but Tarky's our header of the ball. You see that in the stats after the game. Tarky wins the headers, Branthwaite wins the stuff on the floor. It's basically split. That's the way we do it.
So where are you with the goalkeeper then?
No, I don't mind. No, I don't mind the goalkeeper.
Well, that's fine.
Because I think goalkeepers coming off the line and off corners, if they're not tall, like 6'5" tall, I think they tend to get under the ball, and I think that's where we've seen players, goalkeepers, look weak. I think at the end of the day, I think we've got a centre back stroke right back who finds it really difficult to jump. I think that's more of an issue. I think he should have dealt with last week's, and I think he's got off. I don't think he should get off scot-free for both of them. The lad just doesn't seem to have any kind of timing ability.
Spring the timing, isn't it?
With it, and that's 2 goals in a week. That him not being able to get up is actually when he's in front. Certainly last week he's in front.
He's in front of Zuma,
and he can't get up, and I think that's much worse.
I think Zuma just steps across him, doesn't he? And there's no pressure on Zuma.
Zuma just literally stands still and just guards it. So I think for me, Ben Godfrey not being able to get up off his toes is a big issue. One the manager might need to look at as we move forward.
But that goes in. We broke not long after it, and Beto again pulls it down, goes on the outside, hits it, deflects, and Areola makes a good straight, just a little bit higher, and we were back in front. And that went out for a corner, and then the corner comes in, and Decore, don't know how he doesn't score on the far post. It hits him, and it's Souček who clears it off the line. But then the manager took Beto off, and I didn't get it. He was causing them issues with just because he's so chaotic, and I think that gives you something in that game. And he brought Dom on. It wasn't against Dominic coming on, but I just thought when you've scored a goal, you get that extra bit of adrenaline.
Yeah.
And it's like you feel like you'll get another one, and we sort of knew what we were doing. And he took him off and put Dom on, and then we just started knocking it long to Dom then. And it was like, we stopped doing the thing while we were getting in behind him. And I don't know whether the manager should... For me, Dwight McNeil and Jack Harrison weren't having great games, and there was a case for one of them coming off. He could have dropped Decore back alongside Onana, pushed James Garner to the right, took Jack Harrison off, and gone with Dom up front with Beto for 5 or 6 minutes, and then if it didn't feel like we were getting that right, he could have then moved, put another player on and made the change. Because I just thought that's fine going for the win, because you want to. Got no problem with the manager if he's thinking we need to win this and I'm going to make a positive change. I'm putting Calvert-Lewin on. I actually fancied Dom to score. He normally does well against them, but I just didn't. For me, I just wouldn't have took Beto off. And I've seen people saying, "Oh, he was tiring or something." He was causing them problems, and he scored. And trust me, you scored a goal, you feel like you're going to get another one. That's how football works. He would have had a new lease of life. Dom could have even played almost in the Decore role, just off him. But we didn't. He took him off, he put Dom on. And then we did change up the way we were playing a little bit. And maybe there was a case to put Dobbin on as well for one of the wide players at that moment with 15 to go and just go at them. Or whatever it was. And the game went into that frustrating period then where the fans know we need a victory and everyone's willing it to happen, and they had everyone behind the ball, but were making changes as well. Of course, they put Antonio on as a battering ram, and the time just ebbed away, and then they broke, and we don't get out. Ben Godfrey doesn't get out quick enough to Kudus.
No, lets the cross.
Lets him cross. It's a deep cross. Michalenko then and McNeil do a half press, like a false press, jog over to Souček instead of getting right out and getting the block. We saw this with Ayu's goal the other week. No one gets out quick enough to get the block. And this turning your back as they go to shoot. You can't see the ball. Get out and get in front of him. Don't get me wrong, he hits it really well. He hits a cross in, it whips back in. It's beyond Jordan Pickford. There's nothing the keeper can do about it, and it's in the net. And it's that punch in the bollocks again, which
Yeah.
We've had a lot of times at Goodison Park over the last few years. And
Yeah.
this was just another one, an injury time goal.
Yeah, and this has happened too many times. It's happened to in games, you know. I don't know how many times we have to talk about it, you know, but Wolves and Fulham and recently Luton in the FA Cup, and don't know whether they have to look at swapping ends and playing into the Galaxy first half. Into the Parkham. Into the park in the second half. I don't know, but they have to do something, because again, you can talk about all the positive things Sean Dyche has brought us, and defensively and stuff, and right man for the job. But said it from day one, his substitutions and his game management are rubbish. They just are. I mean, it's there for everyone to see. Bringing Dobber on after you've gone 2-1 down. We said this a million times. You look at your bench, and sometimes you just have to make a decision. I know there's a rather successful manager around these parts that is lauded for being brave enough to give kids an opportunity. And I'm afraid that our manager is just safe, and it's cost us lots of times. Don't get me wrong, there's times when we've seen games out. But that's another game at home where you change it up with maybe 10 minutes to go, and you say, right, fresh legs, you spot a weakness, you say, God, we could do this, fella, if we've got a bit of pace. You ask for maturity from someone like Dobbin. Just don't give the ball away, keep the ball.
Get in their box.
Make something happen, who knows? If you can get a shot off. It worked against Chelsea when we were 1-0 up. Doesn't always work, but persistent with these players who, when it comes to the last, say, 10 minutes of a game, let us down.
Probably because they're knackered.
Yeah, because they're knackered. I mean, they're not amazing players, but they work hard. They do the basics, getting into shape. You know, you watch both of them. As soon as we lose the ball, they're back into shape really quickly. You can't accuse them of being lazy.
No.
But with 10 minutes or so left, and there's going to be maybe another 5 or another 10, whatever, depending on what score the game is. If we're winning, it's 9. If we're not winning, it's 5.
Half the time.
You've got to make this. You've got to make brave decisions, and then because you can't come out afterwards and complain or mention small squads, or you can't use excuses for players. Off the field, on the field, if you're flogging them to bits. I don't get it. I've never got it with Dyche. It's been there from day one. It's one of the biggest issues. I think this is why he is. Whether anyone... Is he doing a good job? Yes. Is he a limited manager? Yes. This is a reason why he's a limited manager. Does a good job with our defence. Has he done a good job with our attack? No. It's horrendous. But this is why he's a limited manager, because he doesn't have the bravery to know when to put players on. Making subs is a skill. It's a big skill. Looking at the game and going, how can I affect this game tactically? How can that player come on? Where will he play? Not just you off, you on. It's important, and he doesn't know how to do it. And I'm afraid it's a massive negative in the, a little dash in the negative column for him. And I don't think anyone can argue that. And Dobbin, right? Lewis Dobbin, first 10 games of the season, yes, fully understand it. Game 29, when you've had an entire season to work with someone, give them experience, give them an opportunity. This is the business end of the season where players have been flogged and are knackered. No issue with that. Got a very small squad. But this is where you got to look at your bench now and go, I'm going to have to make big decisions here. He doesn't. And I'm afraid that is definitely a notch in the negative column.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Listen, Lewis Dobbin, whether you think he's good enough or you don't think he's good enough right now, who knows? He could have come on that youthful exuberance or that just then legs. Could have given us something, and we're in that stage where we have got to be looking proactively. The players, Dwight McNeil had a poor game at the weekend, so did Jack Harrison. But both, Nick Neal just looks knackered to me. He just looks tired, whether he's got a lot going on off the pitch, which is obviously energy sapping because it's your life. Football's a game. It's his job, but it's a game. What's going on with his partner in his own personal life is much more important than football. But then you can't be overprotective of him though when he plays and he doesn't do well. You can't say he hasn't done well because he's got a lot going on. Well, the manager shouldn't be playing him then, because when he wears the shirt and runs out, he's judged like everybody else, isn't he? On that day, him and Jack Harrison were underperforming. I think there's nothing wrong with saying that. So therefore, Lewis Dobbin should have replaced one of them.
But the thing about it is, right, and I'd start Boyd McNeil in games and I'd start Jack Harrison in games because quite frankly, there's nothing else.
But if they're tired, you've got to help them as well.
But we have this thing where we take half centre forward off after 65, 70 minutes in every game.
Regardless of what's happening.
Regardless of what's going on. Every game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has played like nearly every game this season and still gets taken off when he starts. Which, okay. No one bats an eyelid. Yeah. He keeps both of them. And that's the mad thing. He keeps both of them on for most of the time. And you're like, they're the people who supply the ammunition for your centre forwards. So unless you're going to do something, unless you're going to maybe, I don't know, switch Garner onto the right and bring Gomez into the midfield or something and put the Corey alongside Onana or whatever. But he never takes those players off till like really late in the game.
He won't take McNeil off because of in case we get an in-swinging left-footed corner, will he? But that, I mean, really, he could have on Saturday.
Well, then he should have left them on Saturday then, shouldn't he?
No, what I'm saying, he took him off and yeah. But what he could have done there, really, and I think what a different manager probably would have done was took the both of them off and put Ashley Young on one side and Dobbin on the other.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm talking for like the last 10.
Freshness.
Because he's just legs. I'm not saying Ashley Young would have come on and run down the way. I'm just saying that's probably what managers would have done. But he put Ashley Young on at Brighton when we didn't need him to come on. It was Seamus we needed to come on.
Yeah.
It's just those moments. But listen, that's him.
But these are important.
Oh, they are the
these
key,
are important
key
moments.
And then he make, we go 2-1 down. He makes 2 subs, which is Timothy and Dobbin in the 92nd minute or something. So you've got 2.5 minutes, lads, to save us.
4 touches between them.
What's it? 2.5 minutes?
4 touches between them.
We get a corner. James Garner's over it. It's the first one in. The referee makes them take it again because there was all sorts of pushing and pulling going on. So when you're taking that corner for the second time, you overcompensate. You think, right, I need to hit this high. Yeah. So he should have been going to the back post and he hit it flat again. It come out to him. Everyone's committed. So put it back in. He doesn't. He hesitates. And then he gets it under control and then just kicks it to Jarrett Bowen. And they break in. Bowen just runs. Gomez doesn't do one or the other. Really, what he should do is just run with Alvarez and leave, because we've got runners cutting back in. But he doesn't. He runs in a straight line with Bowen, which means Alvarez is on his own. He thinks it over Pickford and it's game over. And that was a kick in the balls because that was self-inflicted. I know it didn't matter. The game was over anyway.
But it did.
But if Garner would have put a decent corner in and we could score.
The last minute of the game and it's 2-1. To not lose the game, I mean, that is a really important moment.
No, I'm saying it. The fact the third goal didn't lose the game, but if he'd have put a decent corner in, we might have scored. It might have been 2-2, and that's the frustration. You can't have a go with the manager for that, because that's James Garner. He was having a go with the fans last week. Well, James, I'm sorry, but that second corner's not good enough, mate. Overcompensate, then hit it higher. You know what? And then when it comes back to you, put it back in, because we're on the hop, aren't we? We're on the hop. We're 2-1 down and they're defending it and you taking too long. But what are we going to, all that aside, they've all got to stick together, because we are where we are. But how do we get out of this? Because we just can't win a home game. Next time we play Goodison, it's April, and we've won 3 home games. And then the pressure's up now.
It's appalling. I mean, it's just appalling. I mean, we've thrown away 5 points this week, as far as I'm concerned. That would have had us on 30 points with obviously getting our points back. That would have had us like looking at 2 more games and just a couple of draws and you're safe. No one would be talking about us, even with another point deduction, as being in relegation if we'd got the points, if we'd won those 2 games, which we should have. It starts last week, I think. It's that you listen to them after the match and it's like, oh, points are a good result. It's not. You were 1-0 up in the 95th minute and you've conceded.
Against 10 men.
Against 10 men, and you've conceded with a ball just thrown into the box.
Goal, yeah.
And that's where it starts for me. It's that idea of, we'll take a point. It's like, this is why we don't win games, because again, I'll hark back to it and a broken record, but standards are so low, expectation is so low at this football club. It's like, oh, what do you want? Look at the squad. Oh, look what's going on. It's like, where's the demand? Where's the demand for the wins? You know, what is it, the longest run since when?
30 years.
I mean, you know, and I've seen some garbage in
We've had, listen.
I've seen some garbage in that time.
We had a Walter Smith side that had 6 centre-backs in and a right-back up front. We never went 10 games without a win.
It's not good enough, and to hear, again, all I hear is excuses for the players, excuses for the manager. Right? There's not a time for excuses. It's a time for people, and I'm glad the manager actually did do it after the game, where he put his hand up and went, it's not good enough. I mean, every week, and he's mentioned it's like, XG doesn't matter. XG doesn't pay you back if no one puts the ball in the back. And I've been saying that since the start of the season, when everyone was telling me about XG and how it was going to pay us back. And when we did start winning a few games, like, look, it's paying us back. It's like, sorry, it hasn't. In those 10 games, we've scored the least amount in the Premier League. Out of all those teams, the least amount.
We're the only team in the Premier League in them 10 games that hasn't won a game of football. Burnley have won one, Sheffield United have won one, and they don't win.
We've picked up 5 points and I think we've scored 7 goals. It's not good enough, and this idea of it's okay because we are rubbish. It doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't wash with me.
Make any sense.
It doesn't wash with me at all. It's like I just see people. It's like, where is the standards at our football club? No one's saying we should be top half of the table, should be doing amazing. But in real life we've got 31 points, but we don't. In real life we've got 25 points.
Them 6 points aren't coming back.
This is the real world now. And also, we got those points taken off us in November. It's now March. Like, you've got to like correct that and say, well, and we haven't. And I just think that, yeah, we'll probably, I'm hoping, I'm not saying we will, but we'll stumble over the line, you'd imagine, just about. But it's 3 wins at home. No, I don't, in my back of my head, the answer's no.
Yeah, I'm not saying we won't, but I'm just saying we can't be guaranteeing, because we'll need someone to step up again. Like, we've got to this stage again. I mean, we've had people on our show saying, oh my God, it's just the same as 22 and it's the same as 23, and here we are again in 24 and it's the same.
Sliding backwards.
It's just the same thing, and we can bemoan the points, and we rightly should bemoan the points. I still don't understand it. But it's a real thing, but we still haven't won a game since December the 16th. It's March. We go to Old Trafford at the weekend. Are Everton going to win at Old Trafford? We don't know, right? Yeah. Other teams have won there this season, so we might. But then again, the odds are probably that we won't. And then that will be 11 games without 11 football matches without a win. You know, people had a go at Frank Lampard, not good enough. He won 1 in 14. But Rafa Benitez, they never went 10 games without a win. So this has been going on. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. These players, forget about the manager for a minute. These players should be looking and going, well, 11 games without us winning a game. What are we doing?
Quarter of the season.
You know, we haven't won. The season's 10 months long, and we haven't won for 4 months. What the fuck is that? Now, that's them standards. The manager has to look in the mirror. He has to look and go, am I good enough to be at this football club? Well, if he is, and he believes the answer's yeah, then he's got to do something to do it. Those players should be saying, am I good enough to wear this shirt, this badge, for this football club? Because I honestly have said it before, and this goes for Carlo Ancelotti, David Moyes, Rafa Benitez, Sean Dyche, anyone else in the future. You should never go more than 4 games without winning a game of football for Everton Football Club, ever. And that's a lot, 4 games. You have a chance every week to change the narrative. We've had 10, and on Saturday we'll have 11. Right? Forget about winning against Palace in a replay in the FA. That's nonsense. Because the next round we went out to Luton at home. So that's bollocks. We have got to start raising our standards. Everybody at the football club, the manager, the players. the fans have got to expect, we should be expecting to win home games. We're not. We've even dropped our standards to wanting to finish in Europe. We've dropped our standards from wanting to win trophies. We're now going, oh, well, we could be better if we wouldn't have had them points. We can't do that. We can't keep going. We would have 31 points because we haven't. We've got 25 and we're going to lose more. Regardless of what happens, whether it's 3 points or 6 points, we're going to have points taken off us. Even if it's 3, we're 2 points ahead of Luton right now, and Luton play Palace at the weekend. Listen, they could easily go and win at Selhurst Park. Then they've got Bournemouth. They could beat Bournemouth, and then we'd be in the bottom 3 anyway. If we wouldn't get a result at United. So we have to keep that fresh in our minds. We can't keep going. Someone said on the live show, we're sleepwalking towards relegation here. The fans, because they're just blindly backing everything about the club without looking at it. No, I don't think that's quite the situation, but we do have to be careful of what we're doing, and we're going to need these players to step up, because the longer it goes on, this manager said when he was manager at Burnley, when Lampard was the manager, this team's forgotten how to win. It's forgotten how to win now. So you're going to have to, while we're off in these 3 weeks, he's going to have to get the smelling salts out for all of them and wake them up and go, lads, you have to start performing. You know, stay behind, doing hours, shooting every bleeding day, finishing. Bring a striker coach in. Right, for me, right, I've seen loads of people now going, sack him now, new manager bombs. I don't buy into that, because for me, it's far too risky to sack him right now, because who's going to take it? Well, you might get someone, but anyway, that's not where I am. But what I'm saying is, bring an attacking coach in. Go and bring someone into your little circle where you've got Rowan and Stone who you trust. Fine, no problem with that. And he's done a great job, well, good job defensively, because he has, and away from home. But at home we struggle, and that's where we're going to stay up. Bring an attacking coach in, work on patterns of play, work on strikers, and really try to boost that side of it, because that might be what carries us over the line. Because our XG, mate, we've scored 29 goals from an XG of 41.5, and I'm bringing XG up because the manager's brought it up. You know, when Sean Dyche's 303 games in the Premier League, I think it is, or in his management, his teams have scored 297 goals, less than 1 goal a game. He's not an attack-minded manager, and that's fine. So bring someone into your mix who concentrates purely on that.
That's not that's not even a big thing either, is it? Like, Everton have had these people before. These, they come in a couple of times a week. They're freelance. They come in and they do work with the attackers in finishing and different stuff. But if you're an attacker, why not? Why not have someone, a new voice there who can come in? We've seen it with other clubs, getting throwing coaches, and which
we need, by the way.
It's all gains. It's all little gains, but it's little gains where it really matters. At the end of the most important place on the football pitch is putting the ball in the back of the net, and we are really struggling with that. So why not go? I want to try something different here and say, you know what? Even if it's just something for a striker in training, to just go, oh, this is something different for us, isn't it? This goes away from what we're normally doing, because at the end of the day, people like Rowan and Stone are coaches and stuff. They've never done that. That's not their thing. They've never known what it's like to be a striker. To get someone in to do that, who can talk to a striker on their level and has got that same kind of understanding, I think that just changes things up a little bit, and it shows that you're having a little bit more of attention to detail as well, and you're not just continuing to go, oh, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Well, what is continuing to do what you have been doing got you so far? There's something broke at our football club, and it's scoring goals, and it's not even creating opportunity, because XG says we are creating opportunities.
Well, even that though.
No, I know.
Even that's scattergun.
No, I know.
There's no pattern.
I get that, but it still suggests that just in a normal game of football, by being scattergun, we're creating opportunities.
I'd go one further than that though. I would get an offensive coach, because why wouldn't you bring someone into your fold? There's no point. It's no slant on you. It's actually better management. It's actually going, what are we really good at? Well, the coaching staff have been really good at making us structurally difficult to break down away from home. The away record is all right. It's not bad at all.
The away record?
The away.
Is that
away.
just against Newcastle?
Geordie one. The away record is not bad. And we're fine, because we know what we're doing. We look like we know what we're doing, and we get results. At home, it's dreadful. He's won 7 games at home as Everton manager. In 22 home games, I think it is. A third of our home games. That's awful for us. Everton Football Club and a lot of teams' home form should be 9 or 10 wins. Well, guess what? If we win all the rest of the season, we get to 8, wouldn't we? We've only won 3. So so we're below par anyway. But bringing an attacking coach in, or an offensive coach who will work on attacking patterns, you merge them together. He has the overviews, the manager, great. They merge them together, like you just said, a different voice. Might just be the way the striker drops into pockets, or your midfield, or your fullbacks going on the outside.
He might teach them something they don't know.
That's it. You can always be learning. But then you do that, and then the fans know as well. The fans go, oh, he's looking to do everything. He's trying to get to the bottom of this, because this isn't good enough. This isn't September and October where you're going, lads, lads and lasses, we're creating lots of chances. We will score some, we'll be all right. We are in March. We don't play at Goodison again till April. We've got Forest, Sheffield United, Burnley and Brentford, right? And Liverpool. So take Liverpool off for a minute. They're the 4 games we have to win. But we've just had Palace and West Ham, which look like 2 winnable games. We didn't win either. So for me, that's what I will be doing. And I know after Man U, they've got 3 weeks without a game. That will be the time I will be getting someone else in, a fresh voice, and really doing intense work on the attack and play and seeing what we can come up with. Because right now, it's the area where, defensively, even with them 3 goals, you look at the bottom 6 or 7, we're comfortably the best goal difference. Like, as in, we're only like -8, which was, still shite, but you know what I mean? We haven't conceded tons of goals, but offensively, we are dreadful. And I don't, again, people will point out and go, it's because we haven't got the strike. Every other team scores a lot of goals, really. Even teams where you look and go, well, they don't get loads of goals.
Who's Fulham's striker? Scored 3 at the weekend, scored 2 the week before.
Nunes, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They haven't got a first choice striker.
No, well, he alternates with Jimenez and he tried Traore. No, I know what I'm saying.
So they score goals.
But their team scores goals because they all attack. Well, you can get Everton attacking more. That's fine. That's what we're saying. And I think that's what he could do. And then at least people who would go and sack him might go, you know what, look what he's doing. He's trying to make it better. That's fine. That's what we want him to do. Because ultimately, we just need to get the wins, and then everything calms down again. But just such a disappointing home game again. Let's have a look at the strikers. Well, let's have a look at Beto, because he did score a goal. Let's have a look at his performance on Saturday. There's his heat map there. He had 5 shots. He scored 1 goal. His XG was 1.4. His duels with 3 out of 12 he won, which is poor. Let's be honest, he's got to be better than that. And 2 big chances he missed, but obviously the one which McNeil put him through with, and the penalty, could have had himself a hat-trick at the weekend of being a hero. But he's got himself a goal. He's got to build on that now, Beto. Should have scored at Brighton. Like you said, he's raw. They've got to take the edges off. Oh, they've only an offensive coach to come in and do a bit of work. Let's have a look at Abdoulaye Doucouré as well the weekend, because he was our other forward type player. 1 shot in the game, 3 key passes, didn't complete any of his dribbles, didn't win any of his duels, and he had 1 big chance, which was 2 foot off the line. He should have scored to put us back in front. And he didn't, and it is those moments. It's them moments in the game, isn't it? And if you look at the attacking threat, you wanted this to go up, didn't you? Just from stats, this is from SofaScore.
Yeah, this is on Sofa.
The free app, which you can download.
I just thought this one was a good... I like this. I do like this. Anyone who goes on the app, have a look at yesterday's, the City versus United one. This just... that shows you... Look at the green. That shows you the dominance that we've had in this game, which makes it even worse that we've been beaten 3-1 in it.
Yeah.
That shows you that overall in this game, we controlled it for the most part.
We did.
But the goal scoring has let us down, and that's got to be the thing we focus on. It really has to be, because it's what we've been focusing on since day one, and people told us XG will pay us back. It always does. And I think we've basically both sat here going, XG doesn't put the ball in the back of the net. It's not a bad stat. It isn't a bad stat. It's how you use it. And I think certain people in the manager have used it, sadly, in the wrong context. For me, it does not put the ball in the back of the net. And I think, again, it goes into that thing of maybe the strikers need a little bit of help.
It's just an indicator of what you're doing, but it becomes, it's like saying, you know, your defenders, we're conceding 3 a game, but the defenders are doing all right with the position. Well, at some stage you go, well, they need to stop conceding 3 a game, don't they? Or Jordan Pickford's making 4 saves a game, yeah, but he's throwing 3 in his net as well. It's indicators of what is going on, and you can use it early on if you feel as though, like if you've got Erling Haaland, even though his conversion rate's not very good at the moment because he's missed loads of chances, but if you know, or say Harry Kane, and you think, well, he scores 20 goals every year, at the moment he's missing, but we know that if we keep giving him chances, that'll be fine. Or if you've got Liverpool's forwards, so they'll have some games where they don't take the chances, but in general they're like every year double figures, you know that at some stage that'll come right. That's just a metric to look at and go, we're doing all right that way. But ultimately, all that really matters, David Moyes won't give a shite that their XG was lower than Everton's at the weekend. All he cared about, he got back on the bus with 3 points. That's all that mattered.
But he might take that XG and say, right, this is how we need to improve. And that's fine.
That's all it is. It's a tool to say that. But Everton have struggled all season. Like we keep saying, we're in March, so we do need help. The players have got to do more. This is not just squarely on the manager. Too often at this football club, we've seen the players get off scot-free.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is there's got to be a balance, and at some stage, the manager has to do something different. That's something different right now for me is going and bringing an offensive coach in to work with the defensive side, which is very good, what he's done.
Yeah.
But if you are ultimately a defensive team, then you can't concede 3 goals. And do you know what I mean? And when you take a lead, you should be seeing that game out.
And they are there, by the way, someone like Van Persie. That's what he does.
He
went into Feyenoord and done it, didn't he? That's what he does. They're out there. There'll
be loads of good. There'll be loads of good. The fella who Marco Silva got in for a little bit.
Jevo.
Exactly, yeah. Get him at Simpsons. Beto at Simpsons doing some work with Jevo, no problem. Go and have a look at him. Phil Jevons, soccer coach, I think he is on Insta or something. Striker coach. But they're there when Marco Silva was here, he had the Scottish fella in to do the striker with Duncan. Him and Duncan did it 2 days a week or a day and a half. Then the fella popped up at England working with Harry Kane, he's got a good reputation. Go and get someone like that in. But I still think you'd go further. There's lots of offensive coaches, European coaches, who would come into Everton and work as part of Sean Dyche's backroom staff. I would do it full time personally, but if he doesn't want a full time one in there, get one in to work on a Thursday or a Friday with them strikers and the wingers, and then bring the fullbacks into it and have.
Well,
because why not?
Dom's never been the same since Dunk left.
We've had that pop up. Well, that's a fact. I mean, and I know some people won't have that, but at least Duncan was a striker, though.
Yeah.
So, if it's not Duncan, then he's not going to come back, is he? But there'll be other strikers who definitely are around who might just give you that little pearl of wisdom that gets you a goal, or it gets you. Why wouldn't you try everything? I think that's what we're trying to say. Try everything. Let's have a look at the final stats from the game on the weekend. Anyway, there we go. Everton 1, West Ham 3, which is the only stat that matters really, isn't it? 22 attempts at goal for Everton, 12 for West Ham, 11 on target for Everton. Although some of them were back passes, they were still on target. 5 for West Ham. 5 big chances for Everton, 3 for West Ham. Everton won the possession. There lies the issue. 55% possession for the Toffees, and we know that. I think Sean Dyche has only won 1 game in the last 3 years, I think someone said, where his team has won the possession, which doesn't bode well. But Everton, it doesn't, even under Carlo, he didn't want the possession, did he? He used to like the opposition having it. So it's not just a problem for Sean Dyche and his men. We're going to be carrying on live on Premier right now. But for everyone else, let us know what you think in the comment section. Well, how can we change this? Because we need a result quickly, don't we? How do we do it? What do we do? What do we need to do? Would you like a change of formation? What have you got any ideas? What you think might work? Let us know in the comments section below. Give the video
An
a thumbs up.
exorcist.
I personally would do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not messing. I would have the priest, a rabbi, a Muslim leader, a Buddhist, everybody in, every religious person in to bless the place and exercise it. Dogs weeing on goalposts, all sorts, crystals, everything. Because there's something going on at Goodison right now where it's just everything that can go wrong seems to be going wrong. Do it all. Why not? Why not? And anything you've got, smoke, anything you've got to that can cleanse the place and give us a little bit of good fortune, let us know in the comment section below. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and if you want to become a Toffee TV Premium member, the link is in the description. The QR code will be on the screen in a minute. And download the SofaScore app. It's free and full of all those kind of stats. Thanks for watching. See you later.